Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Trading Card Game live video. My name is Jamie and today I'll be taking you through another deck which won a City League tournament over in Japan. But of course, just before we do go into this video, if you do like this type of content and you'd like to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, then as always be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. So yeah, this is a City League deck taken from Fukushima, and this is an interesting concept, and I've been testing this a little bit online, been playing quite a lot of matches with it, and I really like this deck, and I'll show you why very shortly. So yeah, it revolves around this card here, Mega Lopunny EX, so Mega Pokemon colors, Pokemon 330 HP, and which 330 is, it's worth keeping that in mind. I mean, you can also get into some one-shot ranges there in the current format, especially with things like Dusknoir. If you've got things like Dragapult and Dusknoir, that does knock out your Mega Lopunny. But nonetheless, it's still pretty strong. One retreat cost, weak to fighting, so its second attack is pretty good. It's a bit of a tech attack that a lot of people kind of put in their decks, so especially against things like Crustle, you can use Spiky Hopper, and does 160 damage, and it isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon or any effects on the opponent's active Pokemon. So yeah, so any like wall, like EX blockers, you get through that with that, so that's why it's a pretty good tech, and of course it's colorless. But it's this attack here that we're predominantly using it for, which is Gale Thrust, so 60 plus damage. If it moves from the bench to the active spot, then it does an extra 170 more damage, just 230 in total. So very good. So that's the main attacker in the deck. But what other Pokemon best pair well with it? Well, the obvious inclusion is we have a Dusknoir line here. So very heavy line. So 4-4 line here. So really heavy on the Dusknoir line. So for Curse Blast. So the idea here really is 230 plus that additional 13 damage counters. That's 360. So it knocks out pretty much everything in the format. So that's the idea. So yeah, we can use it for Curse Blast. But of course, if your opponent is playing just a standard EX, I don't know, things like in the 260 range, 270 range, we don't even need to go into Dusknoir. We could also just use Dusclops for Curse Blast. This does 5 damage counters. So worth keeping that in mind. But yeah, very heavy there on the Dusknoir line. So other Pokemon you have also in the deck. So a good Pokemon just to open up with is of course Mega Kangaskhan for Run Errand. So especially when you're switching, when you're using like a switch card, what you can do is put Mega Kangaskhan in the active spot. You can also then just use Run Errand, draw some cards, and then just retreat it. Either with a switch or just with the Latias there. So which we do play for Skyliner. So another really good tech card in this deck is this card here, which is Iron Valiant EX. This is one of the future Pokemon. So not to attack with, but just for its ability. So when this switches from the bench to the active spot, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, and this is of course just once per turn. So 2 damage counters is not a lot, but it is worth keeping in mind that there are a lot of basic Pokemon in the format, especially Pokemon that are waiting to evolve into the stage 2 forms, I guess you can say. A lot of them do have 70 HP, so a very common play that you can do, especially if you've gone first and then in your second turn, is you can use Dusclops there for Curse Blast. That's 50 damage, and then with with Iron Valiant, then you can just put that extra 2 damage on there and knock out that Pokemon. So this is really heavy on what I've kind of found with this deck is that you can wipe out your opponent's board very quickly in terms of all their basic Pokemon and stop them from setting up. So it's not so much about the prize exchange, but just the board state, basically, just trying to prevent your opponent there from setting up. So yeah, by turn 2 or 3, it's pretty much game. So you can just lead with Mega Lopunny. They've not got any Pokemon set up with, and you can just proceed to keep using Gale Thrust there. So I have found that's quite a lot. Another good Pokemon to open up with is Klefki, of course, from Mischievous Lock. So just you can switch into this, and just stop your opponent's basic Pokemon from using abilities. So that's also pretty good. Another Pokemon that we also have, of course, is Ditto for Transformative Start as well, so we can also switch this into another Pokemon. So yeah, we can put it into, if we wanted to, Latias, Buneary, for example, Mega Kangaskhan, Klefki, whatever your situation is, or kind of what you want to lead into at that point. So yeah, that is the Pokemon line. Trainer line, we're looking a little bit like this. So I will say that in the list, actually, there was a card, I think it was like Poké Pad or something like that, searches your deck for 2 Pokemon that do not have rule boxes. That's not released at the moment, so I've just replaced them. I've replaced one of them with a Mega Signal, which wasn't in the list, but I'll put the list in the description box below either way. And of course, so Nest Ball, there was 3 copies of it. I put 4 copies here of Nest Ball, so those are the only changes that I've made. But again, I'll leave the list in the description box below. So yeah, Night Stretcher, of course, 2 of those. 3 Pokemon League headquarters there. So attacks are used by basic Pokemon played. Both your opponents have this one attack cost more, one colorless energy more. So it's pretty good, pretty disruptive. We are reliant on stage 1s, so that's why it doesn't really affect us too much. Good against the Stadium War. 4 Rare Candy, again, very, very strong on the Dusknoir line, so that's the play there. Turo also helps you search out, but bounce things as well. It's also pretty good, and it can prevent prizes as well. If you've got damage on your Pokemon, you can just bounce, just put all the damage back into your hand and remove it. So that's the idea with Turo, so pretty strong. 1 Iono for Hilda. So Hilda's really, really good in this deck. Predominantly, as we'll see with the energy, we can get Enriching Energy, draw more cards, get into, go into Lopunny. So that's the idea. And also, if you've got a Rare Candy in hand and you've got a Duskull on the bench, you can also get Dusclops, Dusknoir, whatever you need to get. So 4 Buddy-Buddies, pretty standard. 2 Ciphermaniac's Codebreaking as well, also really, really good. So with Mega Kangaskhan, you can just put the top 2 cards or 2 cards on the top of your deck, and then use Mega Kangaskhan to run errand draw into those 2 cards, so pretty obvious. 1 Release Determination, 3 Switch, we're pretty heavy on Switch for just to utilize Gale Thrust. And of course, 2 Ultra Ball and 2 Bosses Order. That is the trainer line. And energy looking a little bit like this. So the only energy we play is Special Energy, 4 Jet Energy there. That enables us to just keep using over and over again Gale Thrust, that's the idea. And 1 Enriching Energy as well, so also really, really solid. Can search it out with Hilda. You can, just get an evolution, get Enriching Energy, draw 4 cards there. That's the idea, that's your ace spec of choice. But that's the theory anyway. Again, I'll leave the list in the description box below so you can check it out and let me know what you think of the deck. But yeah, let's go play a game with it and see how it plays out in practice. Okay, so let's see if we can choose. Let's go first. Why not? Yeah, and another thing I also forgot to mention as well, I think, so Klefki is also really, really good because if they are playing Psyduck, we can block the Psyduck, or we can turn the Psyduck off, and with that, we can then start using Dusknoir, or our Dusknoir line there. And then we can also use the Dusknoir to KO the Psyduck. That's also another pretty good strategy. So, alright, we'll go first. Cool, we've got the Mega Lopunny there, that's good. What should we do here? We've got the Mega Lopunny there, so could do some buddy-buddies here. So let's get Cypher to ditch that, and headquarters probably Hilda next turn. It's evolution. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's see. Can use transformative start there. Try and or we just get. It's kind of annoying, but I kind of want to just get a Duskull as well. Do we have means of drawing next turn? Do we have? Yeah, we've got Enriching Energy as well. That'll draw us cards. Cool. All right, let's look at a Duskull. And then we can also go for a Dusclops next turn. That could also work. So Dusclops, Enriching Energy, that will draw us some cards. Let's see. Okay, Dragon Bolt. Actually, we don't even. I presume we're going to get Buddy locked here, so we don't even really need to. We can just hit 60 as well. So at least they have 70 yet. So yeah, Hilda's only evolutions there. So if we had Dusclops there, Dusclops and the additional 20 from the Iron Valiant, that would be a knockout on as well. That could also Munkidori. That's fine. Not really spreading damage as such. So we don't play any Munkidori ourselves. We'll probably just knock things out. So Enriching Energy, yeah, I'm just thinking. So, okay, Buddy lock, that's fine. Buddy, okay. Okay, they're pretty established, that's fine. They're pretty established, that's okay. So let's see. We'll get a knockout. Probably here. So, oh, there's a Dusclops. There we go. Cool. Might be a good play here, actually, just to knock out the Buddy with the Dusclops, promote something, knock that out, guess that might be a good... Or we could also just... we can knock out 2 Dreepies here as well. Actually, that could be... So we can bosses something, knock that out. Actually, we need the energy, so we can't even do that anyway, so let's just Hilda. Cool. Yeah, we'll just get the Enriching Energy there, and... Yeah, I guess we'll just get a... Yeah, just a Dusclops, I suppose. Cool, there's a Kangaskhan, that's nice. I guess we'll just retreat, go into... And we can't even get a knockout really here or anything. Let's just use, yeah, Gale Thrust. Kind of annoying doing 230 there. Just on a single Badu. Dusknoir, okay, cool. That's 130, so that could do something next turn. I suppose if they get a Dragapult, then we can also knock out the Dragapult there. I don't think we have. To retreat that as well. Cool, Jamie. I don't think we don't play any tools, so that's absolutely fine. So next time we can boss is 60. Yeah, boss is something I'm kind of not going to think. We can knock out the Duskull, I guess. So that goes to the bench. They don't use that. Then we'll just hit the Duskull, I think. Dracloak 90. Yeah. Unless we get another energy, then we can just use Spiky Hopper. That's 160. We can knock out the Dracloak. See if they get any more Dracloak down. Or we just Dusknoir and knock out the Dracloak. Interesting, okay. What are you moving? Okay, 50 on there. That's interesting. Unless they just want the bench space. Take a prize that you can help us. Buddy, that will help us a lot actually. Okay, interesting play. Interesting play. That was very interesting. League headquarters, okay, so let's stick that down. Yeah. Okay, we need an energy. We need to get this out of the active spot. We can retreat that into Dusknoir, pop it, but then we still need an energy here. We're relying on hitting an energy off. Yeah. Alright, let's retreat that into Kangaskhan. Alright, relying on a Jet Energy here or a Switch, or probably Jet Energy, I think so. Let's use Curse Blast. Why not just knock out this Dracloak here? Let's see, what do we get? Nice, that was a good top. Alright, well, let's Buddy-Buddy for the Buneary, and we'll get a Duskull there, which is pretty nice. We've also got Rare Candy in hand. We've got Night Stretcher, could bring that back. Did we use one errand yet? We didn't. We've got the Jet Energy anyway, nice. So let's just stick headquarters down, cool. Cool, let's go into Mega Lopunny again. Very nice. Okay, I think we keep this in hand. Yep, we do. Okay, that's, yeah, cool. I think that's fine. I was just wondering if to Night Stretcher for the Duskull here to put that, but then we can also Night Stretcher for Dusknoir next turn and Candy. Yeah, I think that's a play. So we're just going to knock out here 230. Not bad. And we'll take a prize. Cool. And if, I think we might even have game next turn, I think. If we can get the Fez up and knock that out. Bosses into Fez. Cool, so they can go Saluda 240, 240, 50. It's not even a knockout. So I don't know how they get more damage. They've got no Duskull in play. Iono, okay. Well, that does do something. Dusknoir Nest Ball. What can we get with Nest Ball? I mean, we can retreat and go into the Kangaskhan again. Again, we are relying on a Jet Energy. But that we can do. Nest Ball into something. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that's a Luna, sure. Let's do fun. You can even just put a Klefki there. Block the Saluna. Or if we top a Rare Candy as well, that could also work. We're at 60 plus 130. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. That's only 130. So 60, 130. 190. No, that wouldn't work. We would need to get a little bit of a bigger hand here. In fact, yeah, so League Headquarters here is also putting in a little bit of work. Because how many... So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they need 2 energy to attack. So they need... I'm not sure if they thought this through. Because they need an extra energy with Headquarters there, I believe. And without that, they are not able to attack. Unless they bump the stadium. Which I believe they've kind of forgotten about. I believe they didn't think that one through. So, okay, going to Buneary, cool. That's how much is that? That is 230. We're still shy of just 30 damage. How do we get that 30 damage? Iron Valiant. So Iron Valiant will give us 20. That's still not enough. So... that's still not enough. What do we do? We've got... there, cool. Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant's not really too much at this moment because they're kind of more or less set up. Shall we? Oh, we'll go Klefki. Let's go Duskull. Cool. Hit 230. That's not going to really do too much, I don't think. Prize exchange is looking pretty okay for us. Let's go for Kangaskhan. We can probably take a hit with Kangaskhan, I think. And we use Run Errand. Nice, cool, Jet Energy. Oh look, there is game. What a good draw that was. Look at that. Look at that. So Curse Blast. There we go. And the Jet Energy seals it for us. So we've got the perfect combination of cards there. Just to go and sweep up 230. There is a knockout. And good game. Good game. So, cool. And there we have it. That was Mega Lopunny. So, but yeah, listen, I've been doing a lot of... I've just been playing a lot of matches with this deck online. And yeah, it's just such a good board game sweeper. In terms of like, if you're going first... and then you're going into your second turn with Dusclops and Iron Valiant. You can just pick off like everything on the bench and even attack with Mega Lopunny on the same turn. Sometimes, like by turn 2 or 3, like the game's already done. So, so really aggressive. I don't know, aggressive, but disruptive deck in the sense that you can just kind of like pop things with Dusclops and Dusknoir. So, but I really like this deck. As I said, I have been playing a little bit with it recently. But you let me know your thoughts and opinions on this deck. I'll leave it in the description box below the exact list that won the event. So as I said, I have changed 1 or 2 cards, but based on cards that are not released. But yeah, if you do like this type of content and you'd like to see some more content related to the Pokemon trading card game, as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. That would be great. But there you have it, guys. That was Mega Lopunny EX, and yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you all in the next one.